cue our first look at the Eastern Conference semifinal matchup between the Knicks and the 76ers, meeting in the postseason for the first time since 2024. The Knicks won in the first round in 6 games that year. This series starts Monday at Madison Square Garden. 76ers fresh off their Game 7 win. Joel Embiid was spectacular in Game 7. 34 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, and he's going to have a chance to do something that he has never done before. He's the only MVP in NBA history to never appear in the conference finals, but he's got to get past the Knicks to get there. Back here with John Gonzalez, Noah Bono. And John, your initial thoughts on this matchup. Knicks favored in this series, and you'd have to think right now they're going to feel rested and ready as Philadelphia comes in just having played here on Saturday, a Game 1 on Monday at MSG.
Yeah, Knicks should be favored. They were probably thrilled to see a Game 7, right? I mean, they're looking at 2 of their biggest rivals duking it out in a classic while they had their feet up, and they're all watching it thinking, we're coming off a series where we only lost 2 games, and both of those games were by 1 point. Our defense looks great. Karl-Anthony Towns is playing out of his mind right now. Jalen Brunson starting to get going at least more efficiently, right? And you always know you're going to get a big offensive effort from him. And then OG Anunoby has been, I think, their best 2-way player of the playoffs so far in that first round. So they split the season series, the Knicks and the Sixers. But obviously, as you mentioned, the Sixers haven't been out of the second round in forever since the Allen Iverson days. So if you're the Knicks, who went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and you were undone by an upstart, plucky Pacers team, now all of a sudden, you thought you were going to get the Celtics. That was going to be the big matchup. Now you're not getting the Celtics. Now you're getting a Sixers team that might feel kind of happy to be here. I know Embiid is playing really well, and you could be a little worried about that. And, Maxey and Edgecombe are a very dynamic backcourt, and it'll be interesting to see how they defend those guys. But yes, the Knicks with home court advantage, they're thrilled to get the Sixers instead of the Celtics.
I love that we got a little tri-state area matchup again. I can't believe, looking at that graphic, they've only played now. This will be the 3rd time in the postseason in the last 40 years. When I look at the matchup, I don't think anybody's going to be able to guard Joel Embiid. Do I think it's unfortunate that he's probably going to be a little bit more hobbled than he already was in this series, given that he now has 4 playoff games under his belt so far this postseason? Yes, that's unfortunate. He's going to have to work through it. I hope nothing comes up. I mean, he had a scare in Game 6 in the 3rd quarter when he went back to the locker room. He had multiple scares tonight in Game 7. It is literally like walking on eggshells to make sure this guy's going to be able to finish a game. OG Anunoby, as John mentioned, I think was the best player overall for the Knicks, top to bottom, offense, defense. He's going to be able to guard Joel Embiid. But I go back to that 2024 series. That was some of the best basketball I've ever seen between the Knicks and the Sixers. You remember Game 2 when the kick out to Dante DiVincenzo from Isaiah Hartenstein, and he hit the shot. And then in Game 5, Tyrese Maxey had 46 points and had 9 in like the last minute. And he kind of showed everybody early in his career that he's a playoff riser. This is going to be some really, really competitive basketball. It's going to be one on the defensive end as usual. And I think Philly can hold their own. I don't know, like John said, I don't know if it's as much, are they happy to be here? I think that's probably a big factor. But the other piece is like, what seed would Philly have drawn in the Eastern Conference this year had Paul George not been suspended 25 games and had you got maybe 50 games out of Joel Embiid? I know that's a reach, but I think this Philly team, with the guys that we've seen out there in the last 4 games, is better than what their record showed for. I mean, they were off to a hot start the first half of the year, and health obviously is going to be the biggest factor on their side. But overall, man, like, we should see some really, really competitive basketball, some unbelievable offensive skill set from Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Maxey. And then who's going to step up alongside those guys? But I'm really, really excited for this one because the 6-game series in 2024 was some incredible basketball.
Noah, by the way, I did notice the fact that you're wearing wired headphones. That's what Joel Embiid came into Game 7 wearing, trying to, do the internet meme of LeBron in 2016, which I argue is not the same. This was a first-round series. LeBron in 2016 was down.
Also, can I add something to that?
What's that? Absolutely.
Those LeBron headphones were wireless Bluetooth Beats.
Correct.
Okay? So they had a wire on them, but they weren't plugged into a device like Joel's was. So, again, like you said, not the same.
Not the same. Not the same. Not the same. All right. John, prediction for this series. Who wins how many games?
I mean, Payne. My prediction is Payne. It's like...
No. I want to hear. Give me 76ers in 7.
Yeah,
Mr. T
go
and
all
Rocky
homer.
3. Payne is my prediction. The Knicks are the more complete team. They're playing really well. The Sixers, as Noah said, what seed would they have gotten if PG hadn't been suspended for 25 games and if Joel Embiid hadn't missed a bunch of time, because he always misses a bunch of time, and if he hadn't had an appendectomy right before the postseason, who knows? But all of those things happen. Now, they're healthy at the right time, and I was just texting with one of my Celtics fan friends, and he said, I can't believe that the Celtics ran into a healthy Embiid and Paul George, right? So that's what the Knicks are getting right now. And Noah mentioned, okay, maybe they throw OG at Joel Embiid. That's an interesting counter look, right? But like how much Karl Anthony Towns is going to be able to defend Joel Embiid is going to factor in. All these things are ripples here. But I think it's the Knicks. I'll go Knicks in 6, Knicks in 7, just because, you know, the Knicks defense was the thing that was suspect for me coming into the postseason, and they looked fantastic against the Hawks. Now, the Hawks, I don't think, have nearly as much firepower, and certainly not the front court that the Sixers have. And then I would also argue that their backcourt is better. The Sixers at least have more offensive weapons, we'll say that. But the Knicks at both ends of the floor, I think, are playing really well right now. I mentioned they split the season series. I think it's going to be close. I also had a great time watching that 2024 series between these two teams. That's what I think fans are in for right now. If you're a casual, pull up a chair. You're going to love this series. It's no good blood between these teams. It's just all bad blood, really. And Sixers fans and New York fans and Philly fans have hated each other forever. So it's going to be wildly entertaining. But yeah, I'll take the Knicks in this one.
I'm a little, uncertain on who I want to pick. Because the momentum that Philly has just shown over the last 3 games, and again, they're going to be short on rest. It's going to be difficult for them to really rally. I'm going to go with the Knicks, but I do think that this series does a minimum of 6 games. I could see it going to a 7th game. The Knicks are susceptible to some bad losses, and even if it's not a bad loss, we saw them get got twice by 1 point to a offensive-less, Atlanta Hawks team. CJ McCollum came out of nowhere, mid-season trade, and he's leading them to 2 wins. So the personnel in the backcourt of Philadelphia is unbelievably better. And I think when you have Mikal Bridges kind of trying to find his way and gain some confidence, and he's laying eggs, they're going to be susceptible to some moments out there, and Philly's going to have their chances to take advantage. Can you take care of home court? Can you win all your games at home, and you'll have a chance to push this thing to a game 7 where, like we saw tonight, literally anything could happen. I would be too bold to pick the Sixers to make the conference finals, given the Knicks were my pick in the preseason to make the NBA Finals out of the East. So I'm going to stand pat on that, especially because I'm a little bit of a secret Knicks fan. I don't really talk about it because it's been disappointing most of my life. But
it doesn't need to be a secret. Let it out. It's a safe place here. Safe space.
I mean, you see a Lakers jersey back here, but that's just LeBron fandom. It's not anything against the Knicks. But regardless, I think that that's the right pick. But I will say I would not be surprised if we saw a little bit more Philly magic, and maybe this is just the 1 year that Joel Embiid can strip that from his resume, that he's the only MVP to not make a conference finals. I think he's worthy of the moment, but we'll have to see. I mean, he's going to have to stay healthy. He's going to have to stay out there, and the Knicks are damn good, especially after that first quarter versus Atlanta. I'd be scared to be playing them after what they're coming off of in Game 6 versus Atlanta.
I'll go one step further. Knicks in 5.
Ooh.
Okay. See, and you were trying to bait us into the Sixers.
What's up with you? You don't want to give them another game? Come on.
Stirring it up. That's what I do.
Putting in the quarter, trying to get us to take the Sixers. I see what you're doing.
Gonzalez, Noah Bono here on CBS Sports HQ. Men, thank you. Game 1 Monday night at Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks will ultimately be seeking back-to-back conference finals appearances for the first time since 1999 and 2000. The 76ers haven't reached the conference finals since 2001. They reached the finals that year. But look at just the struggle in the second round. They have lost 7 consecutive second-round series. They are trying to finally end this streak. Joel Embiid trying to lead them to the conference finals for the first time since 2001. Again, Game 1, Monday night, Madison Square Garden.